You're gonna have fun fooling your family and friends with this trick. Here, a toothpick mysteriously jumps from place to place. I'll teach you everything that you need to know to make the prop as well as perform the trick. And if you have an idea for a variation on this trick, I'd love to hear about it for a possible future lesson. Now, let's get to the trick. I have a toothpick. As you can see, it runs through this, whatever we'll call it, and it is in the middle here. All right, so let's see if I can do a little magic here. I'm just gonna go over and, wow, did you see that? It's now on this hole here, and it truly is running through the block here. But wait, let's just do this out in the open. I wanna bring it back to where it started. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, right there, it is still running through, and that is the toothpick trick. Now let's get to the lesson. Now the key to this trick is to make sure you have a stick. And the key aspects of the stick is that it's flat and has a wider side than the other side. Now this is just, I think, a drink stirrer. That's all it is. This is also a toothpick that's used on a sandwich. So next time you get a sandwich with a toothpick, you can save this. But the key is that you have a flat side so you can perform the move. Now you could do this with something that is round. For example, a straw. But the problem is, it's hard to, when you do the move, to make the turn correctly when you have no reference point. And another thing you can use is a cheap chopstick. You know, those kinds that you get at the restaurant, fast food place, and you break apart. And those make great sticks as well. They're probably a little long for this purpose, so you'll have to cut them down somehow. So I have my stick, 2 pieces of foam core board. It's about 1 by 3 inches, 2 pieces. Now, what I discovered is that I'm going to have to, if I were just to glue these two together, you'd have this thickness in between. Doesn't quite work. So what I'm doing is hollowing this out in the shape of the stick here. And then that way I can, I've already done a cut here, so what I'm doing is just trying to hollow this out enough that the stick will fit. And I guess all I'm going to do is just kind of peel this way until I get approximately the depth I want. So we're just going to kind of do this. Let's see how that looks. That's looking pretty good. What I want is the stick to be pretty much flush with the foam core here, and then when I put the other piece on here and glue, then it'll look like one solid piece, as much as possible. I've made my indentation here, so now the stick can be flush inside. So let's use some glue, and we'll hope that this will work. That's looking pretty flush there. I'm happy with that. And just for a little support, I'm going to put a piece of tape here that I think will offer a little more than this glue will. So the stick is now glued inside, and now let's glue the other piece here on top. Now let's let it dry. Something else that helps to do the move is if you wrap a rubber band around. This is something I like to do. Just like that. And it gives you that surface that just grips nicely with your fingers. Now that your paddle is dry, here it is. Essentially you've created an ice cream on a stick, or I guess a modified lollipop, whatever this thing is. This is one of those magic tricks where the object is just kind of strange and you just go with it. All right, what we're going to do now is I have a toothpick, and it's best to have a toothpick that is rounded as well as has the same point on each end. There's some toothpicks that have ridges on one end and a point on the other. And what you want is one that has points on both ends. It's a very minor point. I doubt any spectator's going to notice. What I'm going to do is just poke this right through my paddle. Here we go. And that went well. Now let's finish the prop. Now with the Sharpie marker, I'm going to make 2 more dots here, and then I'm going to alter it a little bit here. So here we go. We're going to put this in the center on this side. So let's put here and here. Looks like 3 holes. And then on the other side, I'm going to make it on the edge of 3. So the idea is that these look like holes. Now put your toothpick in. You can do this in front of spectators as well. It's actually kind of cool. And you're ready to perform the trick. Here's how to do the trick. This is a paddle trick, and it's with a DIY paddle. But as you saw in the making of portion, we have the 2 here, and it's in the middle, and over here we depict it on the end. And maybe you can experiment a little bit. When you see them back and forth, it doesn't quite work, but it does work in the context of the trick. I have the rubber band on here to help with grip, so I just wrapped it around. Now what you're going to do is what's called a paddle move. It should look as if you're just turning this over like this, but what you're actually doing is, watch my thumb and finger here, I'm actually rolling it. So it appears that I'm showing the other side and everything is normal, and coming back, you roll it again. But you're actually showing the same side in both circumstances. So it's here, here, and here. And it's really almost undetectable when you just sort of move it naturally. I'm actually performing the move there, which is why it looks in the middle. It looks like the toothpick's in the middle. And at this point, when I wave my hand over, I'm just simply turning this over, and then it shows that it jumped to the bottom hole, and then do the move again, turning it over. I'll try and do this slowly so you can see it, and then make it jump back. Boom, and it's back to the middle. Now you notice that I'm actually letting go there. I imagine there's some people that do this where they don't have to let go, and they can continue to do the move. And I can, but it's never been all that comfortable for me. I like to do this and then do the move, and then reposition it, because it's most comfortable at a certain part between my finger and thumb. So you'll have to figure this out. But anyway, that's pretty much the trick right there. That is the jumping toothpick and paddle. Well, hope you have fun with the trick, and if you want to learn more tricks, I have these lessons. See you next time.